Hi, everyone. I'm Marcia Neel, and I am so pleased to be able to speak to you about program building. There are so many pieces of this particular subject that are different from what we might think typically. For example, we often think that program building has to do strictly with how many kids do we get in the classes, recruitment, retention, all of that, which of course is important. However, it's really also important to think about the big picture of program building. As a music supervisor with the Clark County School District for nearly 15 years, we spent a lot of time focusing on the purpose and the why of music education so that we could address the program's needs and, in fact, build around what those things might be. So I will be addressing different kinds of topics regarding program building that I hope you will find will be valuable in your particular case. So let's get going. And we're going to play right from the start. And hopefully you'll be able to see me in the corner as well. I wish that we had the opportunity to visit back and forth and ask questions, but I wanted you to know that I provided my email address at the very bottom of this title page here. So feel free to reach back out to me if you have any other questions about the topic that we're going to go over tonight, Program Building 101. And it's not just about the numbers, which often we think that it might be, but it is not. It's so much more. So here we go. So right off the bat, I think it's important for all music educators to have a vision and a mission for the program. And very often we don't take the time to think about that, but particularly if you are a newer educator, you may not have thought about what these are and how they would work to build your program. So we're going to talk a little bit about the why, because as it says in this wonderful descriptive photo, when you know your why, you'll know your way. And that's really true. And for newer teachers, as we older folks and more experienced folks know, we remember having to write out our philosophy of education and why we wanted to teach music. But it's really important to think now about what your mission is, what your vision is for the young people that you're going to be working with. So let's talk about these things. We're going to talk about three particular aspects to vision and mission creation. We're going to answer the question, what is the ultimate benefit? Or I like to think of it really more like a destination for the student. What is the ultimate goal line for the kids when they're in your program? Number two, what is the overall purpose or the mission of the music program? Why? Why do we teach music in the first place? So we hope to answer that and help you guide you in your decision on how you would write your mission. And the third thing is to answer the question, why is it even important in the first place to have a written vision and mission statement? So we're going to answer and talk about those three, but answer all those three questions to help you on your way. So what is a vision? I think of it as I mentioned, a destination. So I like to provide examples, and I'm sure you've been through an airport where you've found a Life is Good store. They have these wonderful, beautiful t-shirts that they sell. And I looked up what their vision is, what their destination is. And so I wanted to share that with you. So they envision a world where all children grow up feeling safe, loved, and joyful. So that is the destination, a world, a place where children grow up feeling safe, loved, and joyful. And I love that because it really speaks to what they are all about. Certainly makes me feel better about spending money in that store, that's for sure. Here's another example. The NEA, the National Education Association, and when I looked up their vision, I was a little surprised, and I'll show you what I mean. Their vision is their destination, a great public school for all students, a great public school, which I didn't realize until I did a little bit of vision hunting. So you might want to start by thinking of some of the organizations that you respect, maybe IBM or larger corporations that you feel good about, that perhaps you might want to see what their visions are, or a vision statement might be, and see how that is addressed maybe also in their company mission. So let's jump to that. So what is a mission? And I mentioned a little earlier, this is our purpose. This is our why. Why do we do this? What's the whole purpose? And so I think of this in terms of, again, sharing examples. So we all know Google, of course. So the mission for Google, or its purpose, is to organize the world's information and to make it universally acceptable and useful. Now, I think they've done a really, really good job of defining their purpose, and because they have actually done this and continue to do it all the time. And here's another example. This is NAFME, National Association for Music Education, of course. And their mission is to advance music education by encouraging the studying and making of music by all, not by just students, not by just the kids in the program there, but by all, which I thought was really a wonderful and deep mission. So again, this is the purpose of these two specific organizations. So now when you think about your own program and crafting your own vision, so what would be the ultimate destination? What do you envision for your program, for the students of your program? So here's an example of what you might want to think about, and certainly feel free to use these if you like them, or take these as a starting point. These are not, they're just thoughts of mine, and you're welcome to use them, of course. A vision. The Mozart Middle School, call it that, band program envisions a school community where students develop a personal commitment to excellence through active engagement in music making. What a wonderful destination that might be. So let's talk about what an active engagement in music making might be. Well, in this case, we're talking about band students, but if students begin to attend concerts while they're not participating in the band program, would you consider that to be active engagement? I think it would be. For example, we talk about lifelong learning, and we talk about lifelong engagement in music. What that means is you may not play an instrument all through your adult life, but you may sing in your choir at the church. You may attend the local Philharmonic concerts or local library performances. That, to me, is active engagement in music making, as well as actually making the music yourself. So this would be a great ultimate destination for any school program, elementary, middle, or high school. I just happened to choose a middle school band program for this one. Okay. So now let's look at a possible mission statement, a mission for the ultimate purpose, why we might want to have a music education program, and what's the purpose of it. So here's again an example of a mission. Feel free to use it if you like it, or change it around a bit. It's yours to do with what you would choose. So the mission of the Haydn High School Orchestra program, for example, is to enhance the overall quality of life for all students by inspiring in them the desire to experience the joy of music making throughout life. That's a mouthful, but boy, isn't that a wonderful purpose. So the reason I think of this is because I know how music has changed my life and enhanced my life and made it better. And it's simply because at some point I was engaged in a music program, and that fulfills me to no end. When I get in the car, the first thing I do is turn on satellite radio and listen to my favorite stations, for example, whether it's jazz or whether it's classical, whether it's Frank Sinatra, it really doesn't matter. But I've got music on constantly, and it really makes me feel better. Even when I'm making music myself, just sitting at the piano and enjoying the experience. So these are ideas that you might want to share. Maybe even talk to people in your school building about these ideas, maybe some parents, students, and see what they think. But I like even your own department. Maybe your music department would like to sit together and come up with a mission and a vision for the whole music department that would take care of these kinds of global statements about your program. So take care using these, and you might even think about getting a tagline. When you think of what happens in Vegas, ... What's the rest? Stays in Vegas, right? I can say that because I live here. But you might also think about what happens in music, ... lasts for a lifetime. What a vision that would be, or what not vision, but what a tagline that would be that would really promote your vision and your mission. You would put that at the bottom of all your letterhead. You would put your vision and all of this, very in clear view so that it's written for people to see. So let's talk about why this is important to have this written statement, because I think it's not just important for you to know in your own mind why you're doing this, or to know where students should be going as they're participating in your program, but other people should be aware also of your purpose and the destination for your students. So let's establish a singular, unified message. That is hugely important. The second thing is to clarify and communicate the purpose. The third thing, to create validity, of course, to validate your program. And finally, to provide direction so that everything that you do is built around your mission and your vision. For example, when you decide to purchase music, when you decide to take trips, when you decide to spend money, when you decide to go do specific performances, do all of the things that you do in your program go back to and enhance those two things, your vision and your mission statement. Because if they don't, then it's probably not worth doing it, because you want to advance these two things with every single thing that you do. Every rehearsal, what are you doing in rehearsal today to advance those things? So keep this in your mind as you start to think about your program and develop it, in addition, of course, to recruiting and retaining, but have this as your overall sieve to push everything through. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you is that there are what I would consider to be 6 program building steps. So now that we have our vision and we have our mission, here are 6 program building steps that I would like to share with you that will help grow the program. Okay. Here's the first one. Meet with your principal and share your vision and your mission, because I think it's important for him or her to understand where you're going. And in fact, if you are already in a school and you want to start to develop these, it might be important for you to involve your principal in the development of these particular items so that he or she can also understand where you're going and what you are doing and the whole purpose of all of that, and help you with developing the program as a result of those two things, the vision and mission. Now, once you meet with your principal and you're discussing all of your vision and mission, the first thing you want to do is set your schedule so that you know what you're going to be teaching in the fall. And again, you may already have a schedule that you do every single year, and that's fine. But you might want to make some adjustments once you've thought about your vision and your mission statements. So set the schedule and then be prepared to be flexible. So if your principal says to you, for example, there are so many students who are not taking music, is there a class that you might be able to teach to bring even more students into the program? And might it be guitar, like we developed here in Clark County, classical guitar programs? We have guitar orchestras rather, in Clark County, and they play 4-part string quartet music. They also play popular music. They have a wonderful experience in the classical traditional guitar program. But we also offer mariachi, which brought in a whole other group of students who didn't realize how much they loved it. But once they started studying it, they really enjoyed it. So be flexible and be open to whatever that might be. So get that schedule set. So that's number one. And then it should allow for the development of a sequential curriculum. So if your principal says, let's start a guitar program, well, you're going to have to visit with your principal about how that will roll out in future years. For example, okay, I'm willing to teach a beginning guitar class, and that would be fine. But if we want to start a guitar program, then what would have to happen is we'd need an intermediate level of guitar in another year, and then an advanced level in a third year. So you're going to have to build out staff, and the principal should know at this point that if you're going to develop a program, as opposed to just offer a class, that this is something that would need to be considered, for example. Another thing might be that you're just going to teach that one class every year and just a beginning course to give kids the experience of playing guitar. And that might be a discussion to have with the principal. So it's really important that they understand that there's going to be a program or just a simple individual class. Okay. You might also want to think about, how can I provide music making experiences for students who love music, but they choose not to participate in the traditional ensembles? Well, one thing you might think about doing is starting a music business program. I don't want to take too much time talking about that in this particular session, but you have my contact information if you would like to get more information on what that is, or a music production class. Those kinds of things interest students tremendously. And in fact, there is quite a job opening in those fields. Some school districts I have read have begun instrument repair classes and have funded it through CTE. And so they get federal funding to start these programs. And we all know that this is a wide open field and certainly something that we all need. But there are other classes that can be offered. We know that all kids love music, but the traditional ensembles may not be for them, but maybe there's another way you can work with them. And then remember, in music business, a student can go to work to Sony as an accountant, or they can write liner notes for company. So there are a lot of other kinds of job avenues in music, rather than just education and, of course, playing in the Chicago Symphony, right? So reach out to me if you would like some more information. We have a summer program that I would like to tell you more about, both with mariachi and with music business. Okay, and the third thing, of course, to consider is representing the diversity of your student body. And what might that be? So you might want to just see, where do I not have a number of students involved, and how can I get them engaged? Mariachi in my particular situation is perfect, because the school district is about 35 to 40% Latino, and we have a number of schools which are on the high end of the 90s percentage points of being Latino. And in schools where we started mariachi programs, they're now referred to as the graduation guarantee program, because all of the kids who participate in mariachi graduate. And so the principals love that, of course. Okay, so your schedule. Okay, number 2 of the 6. So after your schedule is set, of course, we have to meet with our counselors. And I always would take them, something to eat, cookies or donuts or coffee cake or something, but have a meeting with the counselors or the head counselor and go over a couple of things with them. These are some things that you should think about. So your counseling department should have a document that describes all of your course offerings, because this will help them place students appropriately. So for example, if you have beginning 6th grade brass and percussion, that's pretty clear. If you have beginning 6th grade winds, that's very clear. Intermediate jazz band, well, what does that really mean? I mean, does that mean that the students had to have played before? They just have to have some experience? They have to do the audition? Where does that fall? Advanced 8th grade band, I'm guessing that would mean a third year student, but it may not. You may have beginning, intermediate, advanced band without grade numbers. So where does a student fall? How is a student placed in those ensembles? You might have a group, your advanced jazz group is called Jumpin' Jazzers. Well, if you're a counselor, how do you know where do the kids go? So it's really important that you provide them with a sheet that just specifically says these are the classes and this is where the students should be placed. And be sure to let me know if you're not sure so that I can get back to you and meet with the student and that parent perhaps to get them in the right place. All right. This will be so appreciated by your guidance department because otherwise they don't know. And how many times have you gotten a student in the wrong class and then moving them is like creating a whole new puzzle. So let's help by trying to start at the beginning of the year with everybody in the right place if you can get that done. Okay, good. The second thing, if you've had students for a year already and they're coming back, and let's just assume that at the very beginning of the year that all your students are going to come back, create class lists so that you give these to the counselor. This really solidifies it even more. They will see, oh, there's Johnny. Johnny goes in intermediate band or intermediate jazz or what you have because you've got it by class list with the class student's number on it. And all that information makes it so much easier for the counselors. Okay. And of course, you want to be organized and timely. And I know we are the busiest teachers in the school. However, when it comes to getting students in the right place and in our classes, we want to be sure that anything we provide to the guidance department is well organized. Maybe make a little folder for each of your guidance counselors with all this information. So when you meet with them, you just open it up and go through the folder. And if they have any questions, they can ask you. I would, for example, over the summer months, particularly as you give them class lists and so forth, just check back with them every so often. It doesn't have to be every Friday, but I would certainly contact them on a regular basis to ensure that they are attending to this. Or do you have any questions? Did anything come up over the last week or two that I need to address? Do I need to call a parent? And just go through the extra motions now rather than having to wait until the fall. Okay. So work with your counselors as much as you can. Okay, number 3, testimonials. I love student testimonials. It just makes such a difference for kids to hear from other kids as to why it's very, very important for them to and how much they enjoy being in the program. So challenge your current students to take ownership in this, and even your beginning students. You could have a beginning student, your beginning, say, band or orchestra choir student, make a use a portfolio kind of approach to making posters where their picture is in there and their name and maybe a piece of advice. I love being in a band. I enjoy making music for my friends and family. Just do it. That kind of a thing. And then put those up all over the school or all over the school where the kids are coming from to be in your program. So it's really important because then your beginning students are also involved in the recruitment of the next class of beginners. Plus, they get involved in, and that will involve them in retention because they will love becoming involved in this. So have them create videos. Here's an example of a student who made a video on her instrument. She did this during COVID, which I thought was great. It still works today for kids to see this video about playing euphonium. So I thought I'd share it with you. Here it is.
It's just me and my euphonium, sitting here stuck at home. Nothing but time to talk on the phonium all day long. We're all in this boat on account of Corona. From here in Monterey all the way to Sedona. Cleaned everything here in my home all day long. We've sorted Legos, we've played pretend, we've ridden scooters, we washed our hands, we watched 1,000 movies, but not Peter Pan. We've done e-learning as much as we can stand. It's just me and my euphonium, sitting here stuck at home. I'm nothing but time to talk on the phone all day long. We're all in this boat on account of Corona. From here in Line all the way to Sedona. Cleaned everything here in my home up all day long. Spending lots of time with my sister. I admit I kinda miss her. Zoom with my friends, Zoom with my cousins, eating potato chips by the dozen. Family walks, drawn with chalk, riding my bike all around the block. Aprendiendo español todo el día. It's just me and my euphonium. Doesn't take the place of my trombonium. Both of them keep me from being so lonesome all day long. We're all in this together because of Corona. From NYC down to Oklahoma, I've done everything possible here in my home all day long. Thank you, Dad, for your assistance. Even though we had to social distance, here in our house we work in coexistence all day long. All day long, all day long.
Yeah, isn't that great? So much fun. Anyway, that of course is from the being out for the pandemic and so forth, but certainly you can go ahead and have your kids write a little song about their instrument and have a lot of fun to it. This would be a great example that you could share with them. Ask them to create a fun promo video about the music family. And I took an example from Carmel. The band at Carmel High School, of course, is renowned, but I love what this gal says about the family aspect of being in this program. So here she is.
At Carmel, there's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of successful things. Being a freshman, though, it's being introduced to a legacy, something that's been put into place years in advance. And it's a lot to live up to, but they make it a lot of fun.
Color Guard is really close, and I find comfort in knowing that I can just be who I am. Color Guard is one big family. We go through ups and downs, but we pull together in the end to create something amazing.
I just love them so much, and my favorite thing about them is that I just feel like we're all so close and there's no cliques within our section. We're just a family, and I feel like being around them is just the best part of my day. I love the saxophones. They're absolutely amazing. They're very welcoming, the seniors especially. Everyone gets along. They're much like a family to me.
We just have a good time playing drums. A lot of fun. I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else, really.
Some traditions my section has is doing a prayer circle before every competition. It's just asking silly questions, and it's super fun.
So that whole video it's rather lengthy, but I hope you'll get a chance to look at it. But it does address the whole thing about being a family, and that's really important to students. They may not even realize that, but that one thing alone will bring kids into the program when they know that they're welcome. That one student who talked about the fact that the seniors really helped her, and I think that's wonderful. That could be your 8th graders helping your 6th graders, that kind of a thing. Of course, you have to establish that avenue for that to happen. But it's so important for the kids to know that they're going to come to a place that's really safe, where they're going to be treated well and enjoy the experience with other students. We started something called a signing day that we thought that current students could be involved in. And what students do is they will take an instrument to a new student and who's decided that they're going to sign up to be in a program, and they sign their name just like the athletes do when they choose their colleges, and they are provided then with an instrument. So I'm going to show you with the really innovative video that was done by one of our music educators here in Clark County, so you can get an idea how you might want to drive this. Kind of fun. Signing day during elective season.
Welcome back. It's elective season. You know what that means. Fifth graders from all over the country are picking their elective for middle school. Let's get right to the action.
Hi, I'm Colton and I go to Ellis Elementary. Go Eagles! This fall, I'm taking my talents to Del Webb Middle School. Go Wranglers! And I chose choir.
Mom and Dad.
Fantastic news for Miss Lowry. Let's send it to her.
And welcome to the Del Webb Middle School Choir. I'm so excited that you've chosen choir as your elective for next year. Yes, you're going to learn about music. Yes, you're going to learn how to sing. But one of my favorite things about choir is that you're going to make some of your best friends that you will have for the next 3 years and beyond. So congratulations. I can't wait to sing with you, and I'll see you next year.
It seems that Del Webb is ready to make their first pick of the elective draft.
The Del Webb Music Department selects to join the Wranglers as the newest member of the band. Please sign up on the page. Congratulations, Lila Jasper. Here's your clarinet.
Thank you, Dr. Leslie. Another jazz is coming your way.
Everyone loves to see a legacy family in this business. More announcements on the way in now.
Hi, my name is Dylan, and I go to Ellis Elementary School. And I choose to take my talents to Del Webb Middle School, and my choice of elective is band.
So it goes on and on and on. And what I love about this particular video, and I have provided all of the links to all of these so you can go back and see them, is that the second half of the video is just one student after another talking about the great experience it is being in band or orchestra or choir. Again, it's memory building and kids understanding that it's so much fun, and you'll be with friends for the rest of your life, and all those things that we talked about right at the very beginning with the vision and the mission, right? So it's important for the students to understand that right early on so that they know that they will be in a really good, safe place. Okay, and of course, outreach, absolutely, outreach, number 4. So you're going to reach out to the elementary music teacher or the teacher who had the students prior to coming to you to find out who the students are that you should be recruiting, maybe get their home address, phone numbers, call them, reach out to them, but start with that person who had the students previously in music to find out what's their aptitude and what instruments should they be playing, and have a separate meeting with them, meet with the mom and dad. It's worth the time now to invest in it now, as opposed to waiting and maybe they'll sign up, or a student may not realize that they could have signed up and they miss it somehow. So we don't want to have that to happen. So reach out to them, the elementary music teacher, and make that an annual thing, or work with them during the course of the year so that you get to know on a regular basis who those students are who will be coming to you, and that more importantly, they get to know you, right? It should not be a surprise. In addition, you can reach out to students by sending them a note, or have some of your students send them a note, your own students, saying how much you want to see them, or you're looking forward to seeing them, or congratulations on your concert last week. You did a great job. I heard you were at solo and ensemble. Congratulations on all those extra activities. You know, those kinds of things mean to that student, oh, wow, I'm being noticed. And that is so important. Every student needs that security. And to be noticed by the person who they're going to go to eventually is a terrific way to go. And finally, ask your student leaders to reach out to them as well. The students who are in your program now, who could serve as role models for them later on, and help them with getting into the program and understanding the expectations. Okay, so one more, I guess I forgot this last one, and this was new to me. It happened in a district in Ohio. They actually sent out robocalls. We all know what those are. We got plenty of them during the election, right? But this particular school district had robocalls to promote music education. And don't forget to have your kids sign up to be in music and call this number if you have any questions. And parents made the calls. They didn't actually call, but they made the recording that went out to all of the incoming students for the next year. And this is a really great way to go, because just make the recording and out it goes. Maybe it could be a partnership between an administrator and a parent, but I would definitely look into this possibility. So now another thing you could do is have a welcome to band or orchestra video that you could put on your website so that students might be able to see what the expectation is. Yamaha did a wonderful video that is so well done. I wanted to share what they have done also so that you can see. Feel free to use this if you'd like. 2 of them, band and orchestra. Take a snapshot of these
My older
YouTube
brother,
links if you'd like.
was in bands, and when I used to go to his concerts, I was like, I want to do something like that. I want to be in band. I want to be a part of that.
When I think of the band, I feel as if it's like a family to me.
I've made all of my best friends through band.
I feel like the most fun I have in band is when we're all together just rehearsing, because a lot of interesting things happen. You get to know people better. There are jokes, and it's a lot of fun being in band.
There's a lot of talented people around you, and it's fun to get better with people who share the same passions as you do.
The kids in band are a part of something. They feel that they belong to the school. They make their friendships. They develop who they are.
Truly, anybody can be a band kid. We have all walks of life come to us, and they can all be part of one family.
I think the funnest thing would be doing marching band and going to football games and going to competitions, because it's really fun to be with your friends.
For me, it's seeing the crowd get all excited.
Playing on the field, everything just disappears and nothing else really matters. It's just focusing in on the performance.
What I like about marching band is just the marching aspect of it, and I like putting on performances for people.
And the thing about band is they take you on trips.
Yeah.
Go out of state, go in state.
Play a lot of tunes a lot of people know, so that they look over the pet band and are like, oh my God, I know that song. So that's kind of cool.
A whole bunch of athletes also are in band. Being in band really doesn't take much of your time away from sports.
During the day, I take band as a class, and then after school, I can just go to sports, and you can really focus on whatever you want to do outside of school.
So I'm going to move on. There's more in that video that you could share or pull pieces out of it to use if you'd like. They're wonderful videos. And again, this could go on your school website so that students start to see what the experience might be like. There were some more younger students, I'm sure you saw in there, who talk a little bit about how important it is to meet friends and do things together. Again, that message comes up over and over and over and over, and that leads to quality of life, which is about our purpose, of course, that we talked early on at the very beginning. That's why it's very, very important that we continue to put those vision and mission in writing, those statements in writing, and put them on everything that goes out from our program so that people know what we're about. Okay, the proper mindset, being of service. So let's think about some of the things that you can do to help build the school climate. Principals will welcome your ideas, so we thought we would share some of them with you. If you could think about leading a team building event, a drum circle maybe at the beginning of the year, where you would provide all of the staff, your colleagues, with various rhythm instruments, drums, and kind of teach them to work together, and how by working together, playing their various parts, you could create something that's bigger than all of them as individuals. And that's the key to building a team. So try something like that. Or if it's some kind of other activity, even if it's just rhythm clapping, movement, that kind of a thing, if it's an elementary program or even a secondary program, whatever it might be. But talk to your principal and ask your principal, how can I help with some sort of a team building activity right at the beginning of the year to kick off the year? How about a welcome back pep assembly for the students? Maybe there's something that you could do with your drummers and with cadences and so forth, or playing the pep song or the school song in some fashion. But what can you do at the assembly, and how can you participate as the teacher, more than working with the students? Maybe you can get a group of teachers together to do something, a special skit or something like that. What needs to happen is that the principal and the other faculty members need to see you as a critical central part of the school. You don't just exist far away in the corner because you're the noisy people, but you actually have a purpose in building the school climate as well. Greet returning students with a welcome back boulevard that's lined up with your kids playing as the students are coming into school on the first day of school. That's a nice thing. And then if you come up with ideas to do these kinds of things, please share them back with me so that I can share them out with other people. That's so important. That's how I get these ideas to share with you. So keep the ideas coming and share. Okay, now here's some additional resources that I just wanted to add. This is the sixth thing because I think it's important for you to know where these are. I hope that you can get this on your phone, because every single month, the MSFQ comes out, and that stands for More to Start, Fewer to Quit. Okay, msfq.org. And if you sign up for it, you get this free recruitment guide. So you sign up at msfq.org/guide, and you will get this guide. And in addition, you will begin every month receiving a timely recruitment tip, retention tip, and success tip for that particular month, for which is, like I said, they're all timely. So what should you be doing in September? What should you be doing in October, etc.? So as I said, it's recruiting information, retention information, support information, advocacy, all kinds of great stuff. So it comes right to you, and it's not a long thing at all. It's not an e-newsletter in that sense. It's just little snippets of information. In addition, starting in January, we will be adding snippets of videos that we're going to be making at the Midwest Clinic for teachers to see, successful educators who address certain topics. And they're going to be little snippets, 2 minutes at the most, so that maybe you can get information on something that would be useful to you. So this is all just starting up. So be sure you're part of it and share this information with every music educator that you know. Here are some of the other resources that are available through the Music Achievement Council. They have wonderful, these are all free. You go to musicachievementcouncil.org, which is sponsored by NAM, as well as the National Association of School Music Dealers. Wonderful organizations here. And you can perhaps use the ideas that are presented in these particular publications to help build your program as well. Okay, and a bonus number 7, here we go. There is something called the SMART approach to retaining. So that's what I want to visit with you about, because I did a separate one of these for the organization, and I wanted to be sure that you knew it's available. You can see it across the bottom. It's the YouTube video where you can go take a snapshot of that. But the SMART approach to retaining beginners has to do with success, modeling, activities, reflection, and the total picture. So those 5 things. So you probably want to go and watch that as well. Finally, just have fun teaching, because that is really going to build your program. This is Rich Gordon from Sycamore Middle School in Anaheim, and he has done some wonderful rhythmic videos. I want to share one for you. So here we go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Rhythm Clapping with Mr. Gordon. Today's going to be a viewer's choice episode, so I asked a few of my students to choose a movie for us to clap along with. And I got to be honest, I have no idea where we are. I don't know what movie this is, and so it's going to be interesting to see which music we're going to be clapping along with.
Are you serious right now?
Hey, a talking hat, that's pretty cool.
What are you telling me? You don't know what movie this is?
No, I have no idea. I mean, I'm assuming with the talking hat and the magic, maybe it's a Disney movie, so Frozen? I don't know. Maybe we could clap Let It Go.
What the? Were you born under a rock? I'm the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter. It's only one of the biggest movie franchises of all time.
Harry Potter, that makes sense. You know, it's been so long since I've seen those movies, I totally forgot about them. I don't.
Yes. Well, you didn't forget about those Avengers movies, did you?
Fair enough. So coming at you live from Hogtie Castle.
Hogwarts.
From Hogwarts Castle. Let's clap some Harry Potter music. Here we go.
Bruh.
All right, guys, if you're watching this video and if you're not one of my students, let me introduce myself. My name is Rich Gordon and I'm a junior high school band director. It's my job to make sure that the students are learning about music and having fun. So here we are outside of Hogwarts Castle. And you know what? I just figured it's such a wonderful night out. Let's go ahead and do our rhythm clapping warm-ups outside. And the sorting hat kicked me out, so.
And stay out.
Don't worry about that. We'll go back inside as soon as we're ready to clap his favorite music. Here's your warm-up. All right, if you want to learn how to clap the Harry Potter music, you're going to have to count in 3/4 time signature. You know what? Some people call that 3/4 time. And coincidentally, when Harry Potter first boarded the train to go to Hogwarts back in the first movie, they had to board on 9 3/4 platform, which has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. I just wanted to let you know that I'm a big fan of the movies. Sure you are.
So I'm going to stop it right here. But if you go to this website, bit.ly/Mr. Gordon Band, there are a ton of them. Oh, he probably has 30 of these clapping exercises. And he told me to tell everybody to go and use them. So they're on all topics, for everything from skateboarding to all kinds of things, and wonderful clapping exercises that your kids can do. Okay, so those are fun things to do, but it's really all about you and your enthusiasm. We never want to step in front of young people without being excited to be there to work with them, because that really is the reward, is it not? So building it, if you build it, they will come, as they say in the movie. So I want to take a moment to thank everybody for listening in. I hope you got something out of this. Again, it's more than just the numbers. There are other things to consider, and I'm hoping that you particularly got the message about the vision and the mission, and maybe even adding a tagline that will work for you in your program. Thank you again for joining in. Here again is my email address, marcia@musicedconsultants.net. We would appreciate you getting in touch with us. If we can help with anything, we would love to do so. So thank you again, and let's go build those programs. Bye now.